this episode of Puck Drop. I am 81 miles away from Livingston, here down in Long Beach Island in the town of Brant, but you two are enjoying your time out in Livingston. How's Livingston, guys?
Hey, do you notice anything different about my appearance?
You're wearing a new sweatshirt?
I've worn the same show shirt since the beginning of Puck Drop, but it's time for a change. I got a new Devils hoodie. This is my new show shirt.
You know what, Jordan? That's good. You know what was not good? The NHL draft.
Right.
Let's get right into that. That was the weirdest thing I've ever seen.
Jacob, do you want to recap?
Yes, can I recap?
Yes,
okay,
you can
I'm going to recap my experience. So, first, the Sabres won an 8, and we were like, okay, good. And then the Devils, when it came to pick 7, we knew if it was the Ducks, the Devils had a top 3 pick. The Devils had the 7th pick. So we're like, Ducks, quack, 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 quack. And then it was the Devils, and we were very sad. But then I got over it because, like, okay, this is a really deep draft. The Devils will still get a really, really good player at number 7. So they kept going. And then Detroit fell to 4, and I was laughing my butt off because they won 17 games all year, and they don't even get a top 3 pick. And then
poor Detroit.
And then Ottawa went at 3, and then the top 3. It was Ottawa, LA, and a mystery team. I was like, okay, if the mystery team is at 2 or 3, I guess. I mean, okay. Ottawa goes at 3. I'm like, okay, there better not be a mystery team at 1. And then they announced that Bill Daly held up the card with number 1 pick that goes to a team that will be determined in the qualifying round in the playoffs, which is why I'm wearing this Carolina Hurricanes jersey, because they said they were going to be wearing their alternate jerseys, and Hurricanes are.
Can I tell you something? This is what I was thinking when I saw that the mystery team won it. You know what I was thinking?
What?
I thought it was, first of all, I thought it was bad when they killed hockey. I didn't realize they were. I didn't think they were going to turn it into this. This is complete disgrace. This is just utterly disgraceful.
What they should have done.
This is what when the rules for the lottery came out, we were like, okay, it's probably not going to happen, so we probably shouldn't worry about it. And this is going to be a fair lottery because there's practically no chance. And look what happened. So this lottery sucks.
Yeah.
This lottery sucks.
It's weird, honestly.
So the Penguins could get the first overall pick. The Penguins.
Well, honestly,
they won 2 cups less than a half decade ago, so that's a little ridiculous.
I don't actually care that much that the Devils didn't get the first overall pick. I am way more upset that a team that has a chance to win the Stanley Cup also has a chance at the number 1, a 12.5% chance at the number 1 pick. I've thought about it, and as long as the Penguins or Rangers don't get the number 1 pick, I'll be okay. But since I said that, now the Penguins or Rangers are going to get the number 1 pick.
Bet they will. But can I go over who I want what I think the Devils should do with the pick they are guaranteed to have?
Yes.
Because of course they might have other picks depending on the Canucks and Coyotes, but we'll see. Do you want to know what I think they should do?
Yeah, I mean,
what they should absolutely go for is James Drysdale, but they're probably not going to get James Drysdale. The Red Wings are probably going to draft him.
Jamie Drysdale.
Sorry. Yeah, Jamie Drysdale. The Red Wings are probably going to get him at 4. The most likely scenario is that we don't get him, and there's another. His name is Jake Sanderson, and he will probably be available at the very latest. He'll be available at 11 or 12. But I think we should trade back to a team that is desperate to move up to number 7, and move back.
I agree.
I think we should trade the 7th pick to a team desperate to move up, depending on the play-in round. It depends on the play-in round. If we get the Canucks or Coyotes pick from the play-in round, then I think that we'll have 10. We'll have 7. We'll probably have 7, 10, and 13.
17.
So we should trade
17.
7, 10, and 17. So I think we should trade the 7th pick back for a team that's desperate to move up. We get Sanderson at 10. We get I'm sorry, I gotta look at my notes. I just gotta look at my notes here.
While he's doing that, let me just say that I really do have to say something to Gary Bettman. Gary, there is a very small chance you are listening to this, but if you happen to be listening to Puck Drop LHS's virtual YouTube channel, I would just like to tell you that you have disappointed the hockey community.
You realize it's literally a lottery. He's not the one that, like...
Hey, let me ask you something. Was he the one who created the 2014 playoff?
No, the owners were, and the players agreed to it.
Fine. The owners and players, I'm very disappointed in how you have affected the hockey community. Is that better? Because
I guess.
I don't think it's really their fault.
What has happened to hockey? Hockey was a good sport. Now there's 24 teams in the playoffs, and one of those teams is going to win the draft lottery and get Alexis Lafreniere. What is going on here? This reminds me of anarchy.
I don't think it's really anyone's fault. I think you're just salty. I'm salty too, but I mean, it's really no one's fault. But if they get the dream would be that they get the 17th pick, because you know who they should draft? You know who I'm really liking out of this draft class, unreasonably? Braden Schneider. He's a
Same.
Can you believe it?
God.
He's a defensive defenseman. Can you believe it? Oh my goodness, we haven't had one of those. We haven't had a good defensive defenseman in years.
Even though I do agree with you, if the Devils do get the Canucks pick, and if the Canucks make the playoffs and they do get the Canucks pick, then Braden Schneider is available at that pick. I would love for the Devils to get Braden Schneider. But I do disagree with you about the Devils trading down. Can I explain?
Why?
Okay. From around picks 3 to, I'd say, 8 or 9, there are going to be players that have a very good chance of being elite in the NHL. After that, players like Jake Sanderson. They will be very good. They will be solid top 4 defensemen. But I would not trade down or select him at number 7. If the Devils have the Coyotes pick, say it's at 10, Sanderson will most likely be available at that spot. So if I would like the Devils to pick Sanderson, but only at the appropriate time. At the Devils number 7 pick, I don't love Jamie Drysdale. I also disagree with you on that, but I do think he will get picked before the Devils pick anyway, so that's not a problem. There's 3 main players who would be a great fit for the Devils, in my opinion. Marco Rossi, who is just one of the smartest players in the draft, and is one of the best playmakers in the draft. And I'm sure he does play center, but I'm sure the Devils could convert him to wing. Cole Perfetti, who also does play center, but again, can very easily be converted to wing, and is one of the best skaters in the draft, and also is another fantastic playmaker and projects to be another elite player in the NHL. And Alex Holtz, who is a very interesting player, in my opinion, because he doesn't have the speed or like a Cole Perfetti. He doesn't have the playmaking ability like a Marco Rossi or Alexis Lafreniere, but he has easily the best shot in the draft. So, and with the Devils having guys like Jack Hughes, I think Holtz also played against men last season. He scored 16 points in 35 games in the top league in Sweden. So, if the Devils draft Alex Holtz and he is playing with Jack Hughes right out of camp, he makes the team, and you put him with Jack Hughes, I could see him scoring 20, 25 goals in his rookie season, maybe even a slight chance of touching 30 if he's playing with an amazing playmaker like Jack Hughes.
I must say, though, I do think that Hughes, you should not really be pairing people with Hughes yet, because, again, another thing that relates to the draft.
He hasn't developed yet.
We don't know what Hughes is going to turn out to be, so I don't want to hear anybody pairing anybody with Hughes. Just not yet.
And also, he needs to develop more. We did a crap job at developing him this season.
Can I say something? Hughes is his own freak of nature right now. If he wants to be good, we will have to get him there. We can't pair him with anybody. He is, right now, he has to develop on his own. We should not be pairing him with anybody.
So I wasn't actually trying to say pair anyone with Hughes. More I think their playing styles would mesh well together. That's what I was more trying to get at. Because Hughes is more of a playmaker and has a great playmaking ability, and Alex Holt's best asset is his shot. That's what I was trying to pair.
In the NHL, Jacob. Hughes, we don't know what Hughes is going to be right now. We don't know if he's going to change. We don't know if he's going to
Did you watch him play last year? His best asset was clearly his playmaking ability.
Dude, I went to most of the
He
games.
didn't have any good assets last year besides his speed because he didn't get results. That's another time. That's another story for another time. Can I respond?
Yeah, let Jordan respond.
Can I make my point for Jake Sanderson?
Go ahead.
Now, I get that there's plenty of elite offensive talent in the draft that would go well with our offense, but do you know what's been holding us back for this entire decade? Defense, which is why we need to prioritize defenders. The Devils teams of old under Lou Lamoriello were good because of their suffocating defense. We're supposed to be a defensive team. We need to prioritize defense. Jake Sanderson would be, like you said, he would be a good top 4 defenseman. We already have Kevin Ball and Ty Smith. And if we get Brandon Schneider, which, by the way, if we don't get the Canucks pick, then I think we should trade down because I want to draft Braden Schneider and Jake Sanderson because Braden Schneider is defensive. Jake Sanderson can play what is good in all 3 zones. And you put together a defensive what I want the future defense, the future top 4 to be Jake Sanderson, Ty Smith, Kevin Ball, Braden Schneider, because and the bottom 2 we could probably draft in later.
You have confidence, Jordan. I think you got to say.
I have a lot of. I mean, we already have a lot of offensive talent. We got Jack Hughes, Nico Hischier. We have.
Jordan, you have to remember that we have no coaching staff right now to develop.
We need to get a coaching staff. That's a whole nother topic for another time. But
right now we have an interim coach.
We have an interim coach, but we don't get anywhere without the proper talent. We have talent on offense. We just need to develop it more with a good coach, but we don't have any talent. We have barely any talent.
I just want to tell you, Jordan, this draft, there was a draft 2 years ago, 2018. Tons of amazing defensemen in that draft. And there were good forwards, but it was mostly in the beginning of the first round, defensemen. This year is the opposite. There is tons of great forwards, and there are good defensemen, but not defensemen that you should take at the Devils at 7th overall.
Which is why I think they should trade down.
Or trade down to But you see, I don't think it's worth it to give up drafting an elite player for a good player.
But it is just not that wrong.
But it is because we already have the talent. We already have the talent.
We have drafted Jack Hughes. We have traded away Taylor Hall. If you ask me, I would say that although we do have maybe the future talent, I can't see it living up to potential at all, Jordan. Just right now. No, I'm talking about in general. We had Taylor Hall. We had the Hart Trophy winner. That didn't help us. We made it to the playoffs and won 1 playoff.
We have offensive talent right now, but what was holding us back was defense. We have the talent. What we need to do is hire a good coaching staff to develop the current offense we have while getting more talent for the barren defense. Our defense is basically Sammy Vatanen and Connor David.
Jordan, and then once we find our defense, our offense is going to be a problem because then you'll realize that our offense is not as good as it actually is.
Yeah.
Well, but we still need to. Our defense has maybe 2 good players on it right now. We need to infuse more talent into the defense.
Jordan, I agree with you that defense is more of a problem than offense right now, and that goalkeeping is not really a problem. I agree with that. All I'm saying is that you have too much confidence that our offense is a Stanley Cup offense, while if we fix our defense, we're a perfect
This is why
team.
we need to
That's
trade
not
down.
correct.
If we trade down to a later pick, if we trade down to a later pick, then we can have, and we get the Coyotes pick, then we can get Jake Sanderson, and at a later pick, we get, this is a very deep draft. There's first round talent in the second round.
That's true.
If we get a second round pick by trading our 7th overall pick, then we can get Jake Sanderson, and we can get a decent forward, and we can get Braden Schneider. It's the best of both worlds. And need I remind you that if we do get the Coyotes pick and we trade down, but it's still like kind of in the range where we can get Jake Sanderson, we can draft Jake Sanderson, a first round level forward, and then Braden Schneider. And yeah, I mean, need I say more? We could have the best of all three worlds, except mostly defense, because we need defense.
Jordan, let me remind you that we are not our friends, actually our enemies, sorry, upriver. We are the New Jersey Devils. Not much is going right now. We don't have a coach. Our defense stinks. Overrating our offense. We have a good goalie for the first time since Brodeur. Like,
what are you talking about? Schneider was amazing for years.
Awesome.
That was a fluke.
What?
That was a fluke.
From the time we traded for him up until he got injured in 2017-18, he was an elite goalie. It's just that's when you started watching when he got injured and then sucked. He has sucked since he got injured in 2017.
Baseball, Jacob. Jacob, you know baseball, right?
Somewhat, yeah.
No, he doesn't.
Aaron Judge is still a spectacular Yankee. And
no, he's not.
He's been injured countless times.
False.
That's not what I'm talking about.
Injuries, I understand what you're saying, but injuries may be an excuse to some players, but
Schneider is old.
Healthy.
He got injured and he's old. Aaron Judge is young.
Starting goalie. I would dump him under the river.
And for Ryan.
When he got injured, he was in his 30s. It's hard to bounce back from a lower body injury of that caliber when you're in your 30s. I can understand why Schneider was back. And also, he lost his confidence. He lost his confidence, which is one of the most important. We are getting heated.
I am going to talk. First of all,
we are getting heated.
First of all, to combat Ryan's argument about Schneider, he had 2 groin injuries and a hip surgery. For a hockey goalie, those are the worst spot. Hip and groin are the worst spots to get injured. They will make you worse. But second,
let me remind you that this guy is getting paid millions of dollars and is sitting as a backup goalie in the AHL. Let me remind you that. If you're going to talk about getting bad, you got to talk about going from being an amazing player to a terrible juniors player, basically.
He lost his confidence, though.
Yeah.
As well as the injuries, confidence is one of the most important things for a goaltender. The Devils also rushed him back.
F-L-U-K-E. He was a complete fluke. Get over it.
The Devils rushed him back. I can't believe this, Ryan. He was one of the best goalies in the league when in his prime.
And guess how many games we won? I mean, Stanley Cups we won.
0, because a goalie can't carry a team.
No, Jordan, you are 1,000% wrong.
Okay, so do you think we got to the Cubs just because of Brodeur? No, we got them because of Danico and Stevens and Niedermeyer. We didn't get there just because of Brodeur. He got injured in the groin and the hip, and he was in his 30s, and the Devils rushed him back. He wasn't fully healed, and he lost his confidence. It's perfectly understandable that Schneider got bad.
Jordan, I don't care. There are so many players that baseball players go through Tommy John surgery. There's so many different problems that these athletes have, and they come back better. But Schneider comes back as
when baseball players go through Tommy John surgery.
1 hour later.
Guys,
when baseball players go through Tommy John surgery and
but you guys are like hailing Schneider. That's ridiculous.
We were hailing Schneider in his prime. He was awesome. He was a Vezina candidate.
Horrible. He is terrible. He's one of the worst goalies.
He is, but was one of the best goalies.
Yeah.
We just rushed him back. It was a
For
mismatch.
4 to
It was a
5 years,
mistake.
when the goalie should be having
It
a
was on the
10-year
coaching
career.
staff. The reason Schneider is bad is because of the coaching staff. Because they rushed him back and didn't give him enough confidence.
Guys, again,
Whoa.
off
The coaching
topic.
staff? That's ridiculous. That's
We can talk
so
about this later.
Connor McDavid. He's not bad because the coaching staff is not amazing. You're Jordan. You're out of your mind.
One eternity later.
Schneider's
We
out.
need to have a whole episode based off of this.
Oh my God, yeah. Okay, here's what I think we should do. Jake Sanderson will be available at 7, but we shouldn't draft
Yes,
him there.
you've already
So,
said this. You already said this. And now I'm
Here
going to
is
say,
the plan. Here is the plan. We trade 7. We get a later round pick. We draft Sanderson. Then we draft Braden Schneider. Then in the second round, which hopefully we'll get picks there. Which hopefully we'll get picks in the second round. Then we draft offensive talent. And for the rest of the draft, we could draft all forwards. I don't care. We just need to shore up the defense because holy crap, there is maybe 2 good players there right now. And we have 2 good defensive prospects in the minors right now. We need defense.
Jordan, let me remind you, the best Devils defenseman right now, probably Damon Severson, would be an under-average defenseman probably on some team.
Exactly.
no,
we
he'd be
have
average.
We
If
have
you're lucky.
maybe
Like, on the
2
spot.
decent defensemen. We don't have our defense is arguably the worst in the league. We
It is the
need
worst.
No,
more
Detroit,
defense.
Detroit.
And we have 2 elite defensive prospects, Kevin Ball and Ty Smith.
Kevin Ball's an
That's
elite.
2. Well, I mean, we have
He's
2.
good, but he's not elite.
Okay, we have 2 defensive prospects that we are putting our faith in, Kevin Ball and Ty Smith. We need to shore up the defense. Jake Sanderson is pretty good. He's top 4 caliber. Braden Schneider is defensive. Tell me, when was the last time we've had a good defensive defenseman? Who was the last good?
Andy Green.
Andy Green. And he was capable of being a defensive defenseman up until he got traded, really. I mean,
you guys are
Yeah.
he has gas in the tank. He has gas in the tank.
Can
But
I
you know
say
what?
why?
We need good defense. We draft
I
2
agree.
good
We
defense.
need defense, but
We need to prioritize that in this draft. And maybe, just maybe, no, you know what? I'm not even gonna say it because it's not gonna happen. We're not doing that. I was gonna suggest maybe, just maybe the goalie, but no, we have Blackwood. I'm putting my faith in Blackwood.
No,
wanna be
if we got the first overall pick, this would have been Jordan. Yeah, Alexis Lafreniere is great, but we need defense. We're picking Jamie Drysdale.
Yes, exactly. That's what I would have been like.
We
Okay.
washed out.
Do
we
you
washed
remember-
out our chance.
We
At
don't
one
need a
top
generate.
player.
We don't need the
But
next
they
Sidney. We don't need
I
the
would
next
have
Sidney
been like, we
Crosby.
need
We
defense.
need
I would have
defense.
drafted Jamie Drysdale because you know why? The past 2 of the past 3 drafts, we had the first overall pick. And you know who we drafted? Center. We drafted Nico
And we
Hischier,
picked defense in the middle. We picked Ty Smith
we
in the
did,
middle.
and yet we don't have good defense right now.
Jordan,
What is
Jordan,
with that? Let's get
Jordan,
defense.
Jordan. I don't understand you right now, man. You say that defense is more important than winning the cup. Of
This
course you
isn't
need it.
football. We don't need
Yeah.
to draft by positional need.
Yeah, Jordan, you need to understand. We are out to get the best player. We are not out to start detracting every possible scenario. We are out there to contribute to the team.
Fine.
And
Maybe
there's
if we got
one
the
thing
first
you're not thinking
overall
of.
pick, we would have drafted Alexis Lafreniere. But we don't have the first overall pick, and that's why we don't need to worry about it. So let's prioritize defense
There's
because
one-
we need it. That's
Jordan.
what we need right now.
Prioritize defense, but we shouldn't be going out there with the mindset of, wait, need a defenseman, an offenseman would be a disgrace. We're not doing that.
Jordan, and there's
No,
one thing you're
an
not
offensive-
considering, Jordan.
and all-
Jordan, there's one thing
What?
you're not considering. We most likely have a pick around the 10 range because of the Coyotes. Sanderson will be available there. We don't need to trade down.
Exactly, which is why we need to trade the 7.
We can get Sanderson. We can get Schneider. We can also get a top-tier player, an elite player.
But our
7.
offense is top heavy. What we need
Okay.
is what our
No, we
problem
are
isn't
not,
the top
Jordan.
of the
Oh
offense.
my God. We
I'm
are
gonna
the
explain something to
farthest
you. I'm gonna explain something to
team
you.
from top 10.
What's our top 6? Hischier, Palmieri, Gusev, Zaka, Hughes, and Miles Wood? Maybe no.
Yeah,
I don't even know.
top
We're
10.
missing one member of the top. We're missing one legitimate top 6 member. Kyle Palmieri will be 30 next year and is in a contract year. Nikita Gusev will be 28 and will be in a contract year. So
But my point is that there's
a lot of our
first round
top-tier
level
guys
talents
are
in
getting.
the second round.
Yes, but I would much rather get an elite player at 7 and also get defensive players than trade down for no reason at all.
We could get more depth picks because we are missing maybe one member of the top 6, but the rest of the offense can't hold.
If
They
anything,
can't
I
hold
think.
up.
If anything, I think we have a better bottom 6 than we do top 6. Miles Wood, Travis Zajac, Joey Anderson—they're all solid bottom six forwards. If anything, we need to improve our top 6. Ryan, don't you agree with me? Ryan, you agree with me, right?
Because we have a lot of good top 6 players. We just need to develop them. Maybe we can. Okay.
Jordan, this is what I have to say. Jacob, I agree with you, but to a little bit of a higher extent here. Jordan, I agree. Our defense is bad, but we are the farthest possible thing from being top heavy right now. The farthest possible thing from being top heavy. We have 1 or 2 good players.
Miles Wood played on every single line this year, and that's saying something.
Yeah.
Miles Wood playing on the first line for a decent stretch this year, that can't happen.
Let me just say, we're open to anybody but a goalie right now. We need somebody entertaining to watch besides to help out Palmieri and Hischier and to hope that Hughes develops into something good, which is up in the
All
air.
right. Maybe I was a little wrong. Maybe I'm admitting that I was a little wrong. Maybe, just maybe, we don't trade the 7 and we get an offensive talent. But I'm still stuck on the fact that we need defense. Holy crap. We need to try everything that we can to get Drake. First of all, we're probably not going to get Jamie Drysdale, but we need to try everything that we can to get him. And if not, we need to bet. What if we don't get the Coyotes pick? What happens then? We'll have the 7 and the 17 if we get the Canucks pick. Then we need to draft Sanderson. If we don't have the Coyotes pick, we need to draft Sanderson because defense is the priority this draft. We can draft offensive talent, but we need to prioritize defense. Thank you. Adele.
All right. I think that's a good way to wrap up this disaster. Thank you so much for watching. Feel free to like, share, and subscribe. Follow us on Instagram, puck_drop@LHS.source. That's right, puck_drop@LHS.source. Jacob, what is our Twitter?
LHS Puck @LHS Puck Drop.
All right. Thank you so much for watching, guys. And goodbye.